like that, for
right,
instance.
That's right. It's important, you know, not to think that it's going to come easily.
Well, Richmond are going to get a turnover here. The mark was taken out there by Campbell, I think, and he's kicked it now to Rogers. But the kick from the kick in, so the second kick from the behind that Richmond forced, the Tigers have got the turnover and the ball is with Rogers. Rogers is about 50 metres out. Again, gives it plenty of height, right to the line, forced over for a rush behind to Richmond.
It's very rarely the players actually kick those goals from outside the 50, and it might have been much better, you know, playing off to another player in short somewhere.
Silvani. It's okay to Ratton. Ratton out wider. Hickmott. Fear of Gale. Holland underneath it. Punch down to Broderick. Hickmott's got him. Crowd wants holding the footy. The umpire says play on. Ratton again. Real grubber. Allan. Gang tackle. Gale's got him. Ball jarred free in the tackle. And the umpire's going to come in and ball it up. Capacity crowd today.
Carlton really need to play through the centre of the ground rather than going towards the boundary if they're going to be successful today.
Ratton again. Might have been taken high. Umpire lets it go. Hickmott. Camporelli. Blues looking for their second goal. Richmond have had most of the play on their forward line. Kenneth, great mark. Equal to the one that Richardson took a few minutes back.
I think if they keep kicking it out in front of this man, wouldn't matter who you were, you couldn't get past him, could you?
Absolutely. He's got that speed, he's got the spring, and he's a fantastic athlete. It would really take a superb footballer to be able to beat him when the ball's kicked out in front of him. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Darren Gaspar today, I think. And I think he's probably had a sleepless night in preparation for this sort of game.
Well, he'll be kicking right on 50.
He's on an angle.
No wind to speak of. It's coming around, but it's not coming around enough. In fact, it goes through for one behind. So Anthony Koutafidis from 2 kicks has kicked 1 goal 1.
Yes, it can really deflate a team's confidence if the team doesn't capitalise on those early goals, and it might actually give Richmond a chance to get into the game when in actual fact Carlton should have been a couple of goals ahead already.
So already a couple of shots, one by Richmond and one by Carlton from pretty well close to the 50-metre line, not being quite accurate enough. The ball spills now. It's kick forward for the Tigers, and a good mark taken by Hamill. A kick coming from Harrison. Hamill goes out wide. Hickmott is on his own. He's got a little bit of time and then ducks back. Kicks in towards centre half forward in the direction of Kernahan, but 2 players there for Richmond, and the mark is taken by Harrison. Harrison, a former Carlton player, but doing well in the yellow and black. Callaway, lovely long hand pass, but at the feet there of Michael Gale. He did well in the finish. Campbell still out wide to Michael Gale. Gale stands, delivers, and a good kick too. The mark taken by Rogers. Not much margin for error there, and Rogers is marked about 80 metres from goal. He goes in the direction of Richardson, sets it up for the defenders. The ball spills. Silvani, hand pass, not too bad. Just a chance there for Hamill to run onto it. The mark then taken by Camporelli.
I think that's where Silvani has the edge over Richardson, is when the ball hits the ground, Silvani's a much better player. So I think that may be decisive in the result of the day.
Camporelli playing only his 12th game for the year. Hume, Ratton, good hand pass. Dulio, back to Camporelli. Angelo Fiborelli, gets around Daffy beautifully. Still he goes. Kick touch by Campbell off the boot. Hogg traps it nicely in the forward pocket. Hogg into goal, kicks for 20 metres and bombs it through.
That's a great goal coming from a lot of pressure. Great goal coming from a lot of pressure, and I think it's interesting that Camporelli showed that he had a bit of pace, took the Richmond players on, put himself under a bit of pressure here, chips the kick a bit. He may have just gone that extra bit too far, but Hogg has made him look a much better player, I think, and just steered that through for a beautiful goal.
Good kick by Matthew Hogg, not renowned for his precision, but a great goal.
And he loves the sniff of a goal too, doesn't he?
Carlton 2-1, lead Richmond, 2 behinds. Porter tries to force it forward. Hogg's in the middle of the action again. Hickmott tried to get it to Bradley. Bond is beautifully tackled there by Hickmott, and the ball locked up just forward of the centre bounce. It's right on the forward end of the square, favouring the Blues. Not quite up to the 50-metre line. Hickmott, very honest performer for the Blues since crossing from Geelong. And again, Chris Bond playing against a team that he did represent when he first came over from Tasmania. But he's now a very, very firmly entrenched Richmond player. The umpire, just a split second early, blew his whistle. The ball was about to be cleared by Hume, but a decision on a bounce.
Now, Richmond seem to be doing well in the ruck. Brendan Gale's getting his hand on the ball first, and I think he's giving them plenty of opportunity there.
Plenty of players around the ball for this bounce. That's a better one. Allan, knock on by Dean. Holland, Gale, Kernahan. Campbell, oh, good bump from Sticks. Still Campbell, shrugs it well. Tempted smother by Porter, ineffective. There's a free kick downfield. One of the umpires is coming in, or are they still going to keep playing?
Play on.
Play on it is now. Allan gives the hand pass away. Harrison nearly. Bowden, long looping hand pass. Good shepherd by Hogg. Ratton bombs it high inside 50. Tall Tim beneath it here. Kellaway, Campbell's got it. Hogg again, taken high by Harrison. Umpire lets it go. Hume brings it back. Gale. Oh, he nearly made a meal of that one. Michael Gale back into the side today to join his brother. Kick it straight to Ratton.
Well, I think, Justin, you've already mentioned about the pressure, Justin. It's forcing errors, isn't it?
It is, and I think that may be the difference at the end of the first quarter, and that may be the difference at the end of the day.
Hamill to Camporelli. They showed us he still has some blistering pace early with a great run that resulted in a goal, and it was kicked by Hogg, and that time finding some space of his own inside 50. Another short pass. That one's also effective. And Peter Dean.
Yeah, they just seem to be finding that space. They must be running some sort of a setup here, I believe, Carlton.
Do you think Peter Dean will play again next year, Justin?
Well, there has been a great deal of talk around the club about a number of people, I suppose. There's an ageing stock of footballers there at Carlton, and of course they'll all be under the microscope at the end of today's game, depending on what the result is. And you know, Dean's not getting any younger, like all of us, Peter.
Thank you very much. He's kicking just as well as ever. Carlton gets its third. Great start by the Blues.
It's a very handy goal for Carlton, and a very handy goal for Peter Dean too, because of course, as you just mentioned, the older blokes put under pressure at the end of the season or towards the end of the season. It's very handy to have him kicking goals like that. He's a great kick for a backman, Peter Dean, and it's great to see him kicking goals, doing very well.
So Russell Morris down on the boundary line. Good start by the Blues.
Certainly is, Peter. Look, there's an interesting matchup. Matthew Hogg has taken Wayne Campbell, and when the ball's coming down, Hoggy's running out very wide. And as we know, Campbell doesn't like necessarily to pick up a man, so Hogg is doing very well in the forward line for Carlton.
Kick forward by Brendan Gale. Contest between Miranda and Dean Rice. Well done by Rice. Gathers the ball nicely and then kicks out in the direction of Hickmott. Awkward bounce. Daffy tries it desperately to make the football his. And well done by Hickmott. His second effort there after the elusive bounce was very good. And he forces a boundary throw in.
Daffy's gone defensive then, and it's sometimes very difficult when you've got a player on your back to push the ball over the boundary and do it legitimately.
So the ruck contest between Porter and Brendan Gale. Effectively Brendan Gale to Harrison. Kick forward by Daffy. Now the race is on. McKay gathers. Tackled there by Funky. The ball comes clear for Miranda. Little bit of space. Gets the hand pass back to Matthew Knights. He's just hemmed in. Able to squeeze it wider. Bounce not good for Miranda. Rice just clears Miranda's hands, and Hamill comes in and strongly defends for the Blues. Forces a boundary throw in. About 80 metres around from the Richmond goal. Still the Tigers to find their first goal. The Blues have kicked 3-1.
Yeah, the Blues have been very good in the forward line. Richmond are putting on a lot of pressure, and you know, if they keep it up, they'll make a fair game of it. But they've really got to capitalise on a few opportunities when the ball gets into the forward line.
Manton to Hume to Camporelli. Camporelli doing well. Bradley's been quiet though so far. Holland nearly the mark, couldn't complete it. Kumafides, great hand pass. Allan lumbers into goal and kicks Carlton's fourth. To two behinds.
This is it's worked very well for Carlton on this occasion. Camporelli has great kick. Kumafides has contested well, but it's his following up that has really helped, and Allan just running in for an easy goal.
Well, 25 plays 2. The Blues have had 27 kicks to 17, 14 handballs to 8. Broderick coming off because of the blood rule. 14 marks to 10. The Tigers have been inside their 50 6 times to the Blues 7. But Carlton have got the score on the board. They lead 4-1 to 2 behinds. Prescott is on the ground. The Blues will get clear again. Ratton shrugs the tackle, and then an awkward kick to left half forward. Leading the race is Ben Holland. Good interception by Camporelli. Kernahan, Allan, back to Hickmott. It's all Carlton. Porter's got it 50 metres out. Porter, just an awkward kicking style, let himself down, kicked it straight into the man of the mark, which was Brendan Gale. Oh, great leap by Julio, and the ball comes back towards the middle of the ground, gathered by Ratton. He is a brilliant player in close. And the kick and the finish from Rice has been taken. Rice is going to get the free kick back. It was Hamill that had taken the mark. Across to Hickmott. Hickmott's got the football at right half back, and the Blues just a little bit under pressure across half forward will get away. Russell Morris.
Right. An interesting observation when what's his name, number 24, I can't even think of his name, and Matthew Allan kicked that goal. Ben Holland went to go for the mark, and because he dropped that mark, he was his man. The ball fell to the ground, and Holland was on the ground, allowing Allan to run on. So if you do leave your man, you've got to get the ball.
Manton's got the ball. Now DeJulio's got it on right centre wing. Knights comes at him. Still gets his kick in. Didn't bounce too kindly for Kellaway. Opportunity for the Tigers to pick it up through Funky. Now the ball delivered towards the boundary line. McKay has just kept it in. Tear along the line. He did. He got flattened after he kicked it. Carlton fans want a free kick downfield. There is none. Hogg! Can he get his second? Camporelli. A little bit too severe, the hand pass. Michael Gale will mop up.
A real
opportunity missed down there.
A real opportunity there for Carlton, but they just weren't able to capitalise. Fumbling under pressure.
Hogg again. Gee, they're everywhere, the Carlton small men.
Well, they're sniffing the finals, I think, Peter.
Pearce nearly. Ratton. Porter. What can the big fellow manufacture from 25 metres? He can manufacture a goal.
He's done very well, Pearce.
Five separate goal kickers. I think you're right, Robbo. They can sniff the finals. And Porter coming straight off.
Always handy to kick a goal just before you come off, because there's every chance you might be on very shortly. But Porter's done very well. He hasn't got a very smooth kicking style, but on that occasion he's kicked it very smoothly through the goals. Very handy on that occasion.
Porter off the ground after kicking that goal, but I think you'll find he'll be back on readily.
5-1 to 2 behinds. It's all Carlton. Bowden to take the ball away from the centre, gets it back to Campbell. Campbell back onto his right foot, kicks in the direction of Richardson. Rice has been very good across half back and kicks it away, and Camporelli's got an acre. An absolute acre out there on the outer side of the ground. Short kick is all right, and Allan is marked. Gee, that ruck tandem is going all right. If Matthew Allan can get a bit of the ball across half forward. Porter doing well in the ruck contest. The kick forward has been marked by Gaspar.
It's going to be a really interesting contest, that one across the half-forward line with the ruckman and Ben Holland. And
kicks it straight back to Matthew Allan. And Brendan Gale's been caught with the ball.
Holding it.
Well, a terrible error there by Brendan Gale. Ratton and Prescott, it looks like having a pushing and shoving match, but Manton was good. Right onto Brendan Gale, and he's got the free kick on centre wing.
Yeah, that was a great tackle, and at the end of the day, the tackles can be the things that win your games.
Manton hooks the kick into the pocket. No mark, brilliantly gathered by Hamill in the box, the 2-7s, but up forward, 43's got it again. Koutafidis is going to be a real problem for Richmond. Athletic, tremendous athleticism, very agile, big man, and has taken another mark within scoring distance.
Beautifully spotted kick, and of course Koutafidis on his own, poetry in motion. I'm quite surprised how well the Blues are playing. I haven't seen that many games this year, but there's certainly been a turn in form from earlier in the season. Maybe because they got rid of some of their older stock. But,
no, I tell you what, Justin, 2 weeks ago against Geelong, just a little ordinary. Looked as though they weren't going to make the finals. Last week against the Swans, and today so far, passion. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Extremely passionate, very impressive.
The kick by Koutafidis is a goal. It looked a very doubtful quantity off the boot, but it must have got through by just the barest margin for Carlton's 6th goal.
Here we have it again. We certainly see some great work from Hamill. Koutafidis on his own. You just can't afford to give him space, Koutafidis, because he'll use it to his advantage every time. And he kicks truly on that occasion, even though it wobbled through a bit. Gets there.
Anthony Koutafidis kicks his second, and he's now leading Carlton's goal kicking this year with 26. Bowden's hand pass to Campbell. Little left footer out to Knights at left half forward. The captain, McKay's got him, but he's got him too high. Knights plays on into the pocket, and that's effective. Maybe Richmond can now get their first goal. Rogers has taken the mark. Thought about going on. There's a Carlton player on his back on the 50-metre line. Bradley. And I didn't see what happened to him.
I think he might be winded. He doesn't look too badly hurt.
He doesn't look too good.
No, I think he's saying I'm all right. I think Justin's spot on with his assessment there.
When you're in your 30s, you've got to take those breaks when they come. So I think he's just making the most of a bit of a breather. Of course, it doesn't hurt to get a sympathy vote either, of course. He'll be okay. He looks fine to me.
All Carlton fans' eyes on Bradley, or Richmond's eyes.
Bradley hasn't touched the ball, by the way, so far.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? And Carlton's kicked 5 goals.
It is, yes. The angle's fairly significant here, under a lot of pressure.
That's coming around.
It kicks truly. That is a great kick. A fantastic kick on that occasion.
Tigers break their duck. So 6-1 to 1-2, and we've got under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Just watch for Bradley here in this passage of play. It's Campbell kicking to Knights.
Yep. They've gone wide on this occasion, Richmond, but it's it's paid off for them in the long run.
Oh. Bit off the ball.
Well, just while the replay, the advertisement was on, we were watching Craig Bradley there, and he was dumped. Maybe a little bit off the ball, but certainly an important player in the Carlton lineup is Craig Bradley. Yet to touch the ball in this game. The Blues have kicked 6-1. Richmond have kicked 1-2. Michael Gale's high kick towards half forward. Oh, top mark by Ben Holland. Wide at right half forward. He looks to play on. Kicking in the direction of Richardson. Getting back there was Hamill. Rice gives it to McKay. Back to Rice. And there's an acre out here on this side of the ground now for D'Ulio. 1 bounce. 2 bounces. Will it sit for him? He can go for another one. No, he thought the bounce was a bit lucky, so he's kicked it to half forward. In the direction there of Peter Dean. It'll go bounding back. Kick by Brendan Gale has found Bowden. Bowden at left half forward. 2 young up-and-comers playing against each other here in Joel Bowden and Aaron Hamill. Bowden kicks towards centre half forward. Richardson and Silvani. Bond caught. Spills for Silvani. Leaves it for Hickmott. Hickmott goes wider still, and Hamill has taken the mark.
Hamill in front of Bowden. Playing well at centre half back. Kickers to centre wing. And he's found Lance Whitnell, former Victorian under-18 captain. Gale. Oh, that's not Gale. It's Paul Bullis in front of Kernahan. At half back. Broderick back onto the ground. Russell Morris has something for us on the boundary.
Yeah, a bit of urgency from the Richmond side. Benny Gale lost a contact lens. He's been playing quite well, so he's had to come up and get it replaced, and that's why Broderick's on the ground.
Hamill was in front, couldn't take the mark. Ball paddled out further. Rogers.
Real chance here now.
Good mark. Bowden.
Came from Prescott, I think.
Prescott, was it? Great left foot of this kid. Kicked 19 goals, 9 so far. Son of the Tiger Premiership player in Michael Bowden. 12 games this year and 19 goals.
Peter Prescott came off the interchange bench. He looks as though he might be manning up on Ratton. Ratton has had 10 possessions already and still 2.5 minutes left in the quarter.
About 3 or 4 Tiger players gathering midfield too. Well, this kick is on. Quite interesting. He's kicked it. Richmond get their second. So great fight back. Gale with that contact lens problem we mentioned. It's 1-2-2.
On this occasion, Richmond have been a little bit more direct. They've worked hard at ground level to get the ball. And of course, marking truly in the forward line makes it a lot easier.
Second goal to the Richmond side with 2 minutes left. Big knock forward there by Allan. Whitnell gets it across. Dulio leaves it behind. He's able to recover his position and then run away. Oh, well done by Ronnie Dulio. His left foot kick towards full forward. Spills to the back. In goes Kudafidis. 3 goals to that player.
Well, terrific effort by Ronnie Dulio, wasn't it? Just enough to that fumble.
Fantastic, yes. He's recovered well and given the forwards plenty of opportunity there. Well, here you go. Carlton bring the forward line again. Ronnie Dulio recovering well. Running wide. Chipping the ball. And, of course, luck's a fortune here, isn't it? Kudafidis behind. Ball bounces over. Converts.
It's a bit of a concern, I would think, even though it's a couple of times it's been a little fortunate. But Kudafidis with 3 goals and already there's still a 1 3/4 minutes left in the quarter. Well, could be a big game for Kudafidis. Ratton again clears the centre. Rice's left foot kick inside 50. Kernahan does well to knock it forward. Broderick's at the back. Hickmott challenging, but Broderick sweeps across the full-back line. Gives the hand pass to Powell. Powell's got a little bit of space. Hand pass to Daffy. Daffy back to Powell. Powell assessing and then kicks. Kicks well and finds Funky. Funky goes back there to Rogers. Rogers kick in the direction of Bowden. Silvani tries to knock it forward. Richardson across his body. Matthew Richardson has scored, but only a behind for Richmond.
Well, that's been the difference really between Richmond and Carlton in many ways, is making the most of our scoring opportunities.
We spoke of the Bradley incident. There it was. He was met, looks like a hip and shoulder, bit off the ball, but he is okay.
Yeah, professional block, that one.
Ball at half-back. Chance for Broderick on his non-preferred foot. Manton's in the road, though, and takes the mark. Looks for Allan. Has to get it low down. Rogers mans up on him. Prescott, a couple of mistakes there. One each side. Prescott started on the bench, kicks it to Bowden. Camporelli, great tackle. He didn't hear him coming, holding the foot. He could have been a goal. Camporelli plays on. Diulio at right half-back, who's been good so far in the first quarter. Carlton with loose men everywhere. Allan on centre wing. Goes long, clock ticking down to quarter time. Pearce in front, punched away. Oh, Kernahan, terrible kick. Real up and under job. He might get another chance. Could have almost marked his own kick. Gasper slung off the ball by Kernahan. There's the siren. Action-packed first quarter. And the Blues have come out on top. Interestingly, Kernahan has done little. One kick. And Bradley... Ridge puts it down to start the second term at Optus Oval. The Tigers trailing 2-3 to 7-1. Kudafidis has kicked 3 of the Blues' goals. Porter goes at it with Benny Gale. Shuffled out to Bond, who's done the job on Bradley so far. Kickless so far. And on the shoulder. Free kick going Richmond's way. I think it might be Harrison's. It is. Kicked 4 goals in a quarter against Hawthorn earlier in the season. Playing in defence at the moment. Broderick to Rogers. Rogers across the body. And that doesn't look good for Carlton with Hickmott injured. Ball out of bounds. Left half forward for Richmond. Might be a corky there. Has the job on Daffy. So throw in. 40 metres from goal. Holland and Dean. McKay. Oh, has the ball underneath him. Could have almost been pinged for that. Just out of bounds now.
Any thoughts on Craig Bradley? I mean, to try and get him into the game, would a spell on the bench for a half a minute do any good, do you think?
Well, I think they need to try him somewhere else. He's under a lot of pressure from Bond, I think.
Well, that's what happened to Hickmott. He got dived upon. Holland. Broderick. Oh, then he got tripped up, but still goes. Gives the hand pass away, and that is a goal kicked by Rogers.
Yes, well, that was just what Richmond needed to start their quarter off. They need something to really give them a lift. They probably need another couple. But Richmond getting the ball out of the ruck here. Broderick pushing the ball on and pushing it into the clear, giving Richmond every opportunity.
Amazing the number of teams that come here to the Optus Oval and do score better at the Robert Heatley stand end of the ground last week in the last quarter. The Blues looking up against it and against the Swans, and they outscored the Swans easily to that right-hand end of screen. McKay not able to gather the ball, but Bowden is brilliantly smothered there by Camporelli, not clear by Bond. Ball in the path of Daffy. Daffy now off his left foot, which is not his natural kicking foot, and a good mark is taken back there by Hamill. Gee, has he grown in stature in the last month or so?
He's a very strong player, isn't he? He looks confident, and I think he'll go on in leaps and bounds. He loves that half-back line, that's for sure.
Oh, Ratton has pinpointed Porter all on his own in the middle of the ground. Slightly awkward kicking style off the side of his boot, goes into the pocket. Koutafidis leads in the race, but the ball end on end away from he and Bullis. Looks like Bullis might be back there now, picking up Koutafidis. Bullis, of course, starting on Kernahan. Kernahan's opponent right now looks as though it might be Gaspar, who started on Anthony Koutafidis. 7-1 to 3-3. The ball still there for the Blues. Porter. Brendan Gale tackled by Hickmott. Still underneath there. Hickmott dispossesses the big Richmond player, but not able to clear the pack, and the umpire will bounce.
Yeah, Porter seems to be struggling a little bit against Gale at the moment, but I think it's interesting tactic on the it's nice to see my name up there, but it's interesting to see that Porter is rucking against Gale and not doing well, and that they'll bring Allan on in the second half of this quarter.
Ratton snaps at goal. Koutafidis, yes, that's a mark.
Sure, he's done well, hasn't he? He's strong, unbelievably strong. And what the most impressive thing about Koutafidis is he can make something out of nothing, and that's the sign of a real star player. Is that you know, he looked completely out of the contest there, and he has on a couple of occasions earlier in the game. But for a forward to be able to just pluck the ball up or out of the air and get a goal like that, that's what your team really needs.
4 goals to Koutafidis, 3 in the first quarter and now 1 in the second. It's 8-1 to 3-3. 28 goals for the year, and as I said, he's now leading Carlton's goal kicking.
Ratton again instrumental here in getting it forward. But you let the scoreboard do the talking now, Justin Nugent.
That's for sure. It was interesting to see Kernahan then tell Koutafidis to settle down, because of course you're going to be harassed if you're playing well like that, so he has to make the most of it.
So the score early in the second term, 8-1-49 are the Blues, 3-3-21. Richmond, a 28-point advantage. Bradley overruns it. He just looks a little out of sorts. Porter tries to crash his way through. Just held up momentarily there by Ross Funke, and the ball underneath Glenn Manton will be bounced eventually just away from the centre circle.
How long since you've seen Craig Bradley kickless at this stage of the second quarter?
Well, just touchless, actually, yeah. Peter, yes. Kickless and no handballs yet.
Bond's doing a great job on Bradley, because that really is a hard task to keep up with Bradley. Runs all day, and he's doing it well.
They could go forward again. Dulio out wide. Hickmott and Michael Gale. Michael Gale in front of himself, and then it might be out on the full. There wasn't much in it, but it just carried the boundary line. So the free kick out there will be taken by Bradley. His first touch early in the second term. Kicks towards half-forward. Whitnell couldn't take it. At the base of the pack is Hume to Camporelli. Koutafidis goes for his 5th goal, and he's grubbed it along the ground and missed.
Really playing well, Koutafidis. Over the years, he's promised a great deal, and often hasn't necessarily fulfilled that, but he seems to be, delivering plenty of it today.
Paul Bullis to kick in. Now with the job on Koutafidis. He's moved there late in the first quarter. He's a little bit frustrated. Now the umpire says you've got to kick it in or I'll take it off you. So it goes for distance. Gale underneath it. Knights traps it well. He's opposite number 33. Hogg came at him, but he's kicked it straight to Hamill, who marks in front of Rogers at right centre wing.
He likes marking on the back line there, Hamill. He's a strong mark.
Gale in front. Whitnell over the top of him. Oh, terrible kick. Powell, Hickmott, Camporelli. Camporelli, a little throw to Hogg. His hand pass was ineffective. Diulio all wrapped up, nearly tripped. What's the umpire going to do here? Holding the ball? It is.
Well, Richmond have certainly lifted their intensity, but it seems to be very much the tackling. I mean, they're not getting the ball first, but they're certainly applying plenty of pressure. They've got to get more of the ball in order to capitalise.
Prescott at centre half back. Started on the bench today. Came on to replace Broderick with the blood roll in the first quarter. He's still there. McKay, Hogg. Lovely smother by Knights. Hamill all wrapped up by Holland. A little gift to Porter. Ratton calling for it is Diulio. He's gone a little bit further wide to Hickmott. Now the Blues, more run through Diulio. Oh, terrible pass. Straight into the arms of Callaway, who's doing a good job on Pearce so far.
Could have nearly straightened up Diulio and gone for goal. The goal was not manned. The kick towards the wing. Contest provided there between Hickmott and Bullis. The kick forward. The Blues have got the numbers here. They can share it. Manton, Dean, still Manton. Get rid of it quickly. He does into the middle. Out comes Porter. Well done to Koutafidis. To Ratton. Ratton quickly onto his boot. Funky's in the good position. Bounces awkwardly for that player. Camporelli drags into the ground. And the ball spills over for a boundary throw in about 55 metres from the Carlton goal. Carlton lead 8-2 to Richmond 3-3. And don't forget, there's a man very much in the spotlight now with the finals just around the corner. Rodney Eade on Talking Footy on Monday night.
10:30 around the network. It's coming from Sydney too. And Paul Roos will be joining us in the studio as well. 50 plays 21. 8-2 to 3-3 here at the Optus Oval. Porter, the last man to get up. It's a bounce right on 50. Carlton right half forward flank. Capacity crowd here today. Many were turned away. Benny Gale doing well in the ruck. Looks for his brother Michael. He's got him. Gale's got the boundary line.
Both Gales doing very well. Statistics read well. They're both getting plenty of the ball, and certainly Richmond need them firing.
Leading kick getter at the moment, Brett Ratton with 11. Had a great match so far. Benny Gale, as I said, doing well in the ruck. Pearce, Callaway. Kicked his first goal last week in 98 games of senior football, and what a reception he got from his teammates in the last quarter at the G.
Bradley Pearce will find it difficult to get kicks today with Callaway manning up on him.
Porter and Benny Gale. Hume or slung too high for Michael Gale. He'll get a free kick.
So be careful. Things can be reversed. Umpire just giving the young fellow a bit of advice there.
Hume, too far out to score. Kick and a half from goal. Kicks into Gale. McKay. Well, they're at it again. Now it's on the shoulder. Downfield it will be, or is it play on the advantage? It is. And that bounces out of bounds in front of Whitnell.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it, really? You look at the recovery of McKay, then that shows his experience as against a young player like Hume.
Benny Gale at the back. Harrison tries to crash his way through. Ineffective. Good tackle Camporelli. Campbell traps it right on the boundary line. Around Whitnell. Porter at the back. Probably should have tried to punch, but couldn't get into a position to do just that. McKay again a chance. Score. Goal. That might be too high. It is.
Actually, whatever Richmond are throwing at the Blues have got their head downs. backsides up and going just as hard at the footy.
It would appear that Knights has got some sort of a head injury there. Certainly received a high knock.
Could have been used to the Ulio. Gaspar, Tigers defending desperately. Campbell looks for options across half-back.
Campbell's kick is not too bad, but running down from half-back is Manton. Much to make it difficult there for Robert Powell, and worried the Richmond player out of it in the finish, forcing a boundary throw-in.
Let's see what happened to Knights, Robbo.
Well, he's been a very good player for Richmond over a long period of time, but he came down very, very awkwardly then from that marking contest. Russell Morris.
Yeah, I just noticed an interesting observation when both Manton and Bowden were leading to the boundary line. Bowden ran inboards. It was a lazy lead, and the Richmond player was unable to hook it round. So that's an indication of the way the Tigers are going, taking the easy option.
Kernahan having lots of problems. Oh, falls over for the second time and crunches his opponent Gasper to the ground, and the ball will come back. It might have been a relayed free kick from the Kernahan indiscretion, so it'll be taken wide at left half back by the Richmond captain Matthew Knights. Knights goes wider still and finds Bowden. 50 plays 21, 12 and a half minutes left in the second term. Joel Bowden with the footy on centre wing. Kicks it high. It'll land close to the 50-metre line. It won't land. Hamill. And that should be 50 metres.
No doubt.
Well, it's got to be 50 metres. The umpire coming in to have a talk to Matthew Rogers, but that was just totally unnecessary.
He's a strong mark, Hamill. And I think the Richmond fellas knew it too. Yes.
Well, Matthew Rogers, I don't think he'd like to have another look at that.
6 marks he's taken, Hamill, 8 kicks.
He kicks towards full forward. Kudafini's nearly took the mark of the day so far. It's still in front of the Carlton goal. But Kudafini's the leap from behind, not quite able to grab it in, and the umpire will bounce.
Once again, Kuda's out of position, completely out of position, really, but he's almost able to, make something out of nothing.
And the umpire's found a free kick from the bounce. It'll go to Richmond, and it'll be taken by Brendan Gale. It wasn't a kick, it was a hand pass to Campbell. In turn to Harrison.
Harrison's kick along the boundary line. McKay and Knights. Oh, great mark, Matty Knights. Recovered from that knock. He got it a couple of minutes back. Knights at left half-back flank. Great atmosphere here this afternoon, the clash of these old rivals.
Kernahan coming off the ground.
Only 1 kick so far. Manton's taken the mark, right centre wing, goes to Allan. Allan lumbers away. Whitnell, good mark. Strong mark that.
Hannah on.
Pearce at the back. Was he held? Looks for the free kick. Gaspar. Not too much on offer there. Keeps the ball in play. Powell. He took it away from his teammate. Callaway from centre half back.
Oh,
Ratton was there. Ratton over the top. Ratton's been terrific. Kick number 12. A little short one. That's effective. Kudafini's.
And
Hannah. Pearce. It bounces for a goal. First touch to the cranium, and he's kicked it. Well, he's just come on, as you mentioned, Justin. First touch, a goal, 9-2.
Here we go. This is a great introduction for a player who's just come onto the ground. There's nothing better to lift your confidence when you've been sitting on the bench than a goal with your first kick. Kudafini's gives Hannah the opportunity. Mills a big kick. He kicks it through, but watch Pearce's little nudge here. Unselfish play there.
So Porter sitting alongside Stephen Kernahan. He fell down twice, once from a tackle on Bullis, and he may have hurt his calf, which was causing him the problems to miss the couple of games. McKay from the centre. Hannah can't take it. All strong was Hume. Hogg. There's a free kick. It's advantage with Richmond. The way they go from the middle of the ground through Funky is kicked towards full forward. Smashed away by the Blues. Gathered by Matthew Knights. And he kicks it behind for the Tigers. Kernahan came off Russell Morris.
Yes, Robbo, I think it's bad news for Carlton that left calf's been giving him trouble. So if he's unable to get through the game today, who knows, with Carlton winning today, they get into the finals. Now, it could be Kernahan's last hurrah for the year.
Yes, could be. You're quite right. Last hurrah for the career. McKay around the boundary line. Broderick and Hume. Both content to see it over the boundary line. And the youngster, Darren Hume, playing his 8th game. Paul Broderick, of course, much more experienced, best and fairest at Richmond last year, and runner-up a couple of seasons before that. Benny Gale doing well in the ruck. Ratton is doing even better at ground level. Bradley taken by Bond again. Canner, Allan, Hickmott at right half forward, spears the pass into Koutafidis, went a little bit too far for him. Pearce should go off the ground, and he'll kick a goal. Only 2 kicks to Brad Pearce, and he gets a goal with that one. Carlton to 10-2, Richmond 3-4.
Yeah, Allan gets the ball here. Interesting, he comes back onto the ground in the second part of the quarter. A little bit more mobile. Ball goes over Koutafidis' heads. Pearce runs into the goal. He's got extra speed on these occasions, running into the goal. So, of course, you're going to kick those, aren't you?
You run a bit quicker when you see that ball bouncing nicely in front of you too, Justin.
Absolutely.
Russell and Stephen Kernahan, the update.
Yeah, a bit of an update, Rob. Look, I don't know whether it's good news or bad news. It's not his calf muscle, it's his left ankle. So whether that's good or bad, I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Well, Brendan Gale tries to hack it out of the centre. Matthew Knights and Andrew McKay are having a great battle. McKay got Knights. The ball spills for Camporelli. Camporelli from the centre wing. The ball gathered by Hume. He kicks it in towards half forward. Whitnell, well done. McKay, get his left foot to it. McKay's kick towards goal. Will bounce and just miss to the left. Andrew McKay, a rare score for a great defender in this Carlton lineup. And the boy from Lucendale has kicked it behind. Broderick combines with Campbell. Back it goes to Broderick. Broderick, hand pass. Chance for Powell. Powell from the defensive 50-metre. Kicks in the direction of Richardson. He's going to find it extremely difficult to get kicks. Dulio crashes through. Matthew Allan gives away a bit of ground. Back to Rice. Rice directly towards full forward. Koutafidis again. He's got the ball. And he's kicked it behind.
I think they could have almost paid that one too.
Oh, that would have been generous.
Well, it's just excitement, isn't it? It gets down there, that player, and the whole crowd, and I'm sure even Richmond people have to be entertained by a magnificent athlete like Anthony Koutafidis. He's kicked 4 goals.
4 goals, 3 actually. Matty Knights to kick in. The Tigers under siege, 3-4 to 10-4. Kicks it to himself. Now round to Bullis. The long bone. Gale at the back. Michael Gale from Benny. Now it comes to Funky. Funky's kick is short. Richardson hasn't beaten Silvani too often. Harrison. It was Daffy, was it? Mark taken by Holland. The Tigers desperately need a goal. Maybe Holland can give it to them. He's only kicked 12 for the year.
It's one of the few occasions in this quarter where the ball has been deep in the Richmond forward line. So there's been plenty of space there for them to kick it into.
So Ben Holland from 40 metres slides that one through for a goal. His first, and a badly needed one for the Tigers. 4-4 to 10-4, the difference back to 36 points.
The ball's kicked in well to Richardson. He handballs it off, and of course, a nice kick out in front. And they're the ones that you like when you're playing in the forward line. Out in front, on the chest.
And to say that was badly needed would be the understatement of the day. Still the Tigers with their 4th goal, trail by 6. Ben Holland, who was the goal kicker, feeds it out the back. Powell kicks to half forward, and Brendan Gale marks in front of Peter Dean. 6 goals is the margin. It's not insurmountable in today's football, but the way the Carlton boys are playing, with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, you would have to say that Richmond are looking down the barrel a little bit. Brendan Gale may be able to bring the margin just a little closer into Tigers' favour.
They certainly need this one, and the conversion hasn't been good either. We've got a bit of rain here, which will make his kick even a little bit more difficult.
Lovely kick by Brendan Gale. Splits the big ones and is a goal.
Certainly needed that.
First goal to Brendan Gale, and Carlton lead now by 5 goals.
Well, it's a lot better than 7.
That's for sure. And here we have Richmond with the ball. Plenty of pressure from the Carlton players, but ball bounces out. Very handy mark there by Benny. And of course, kicks truly straight in front of goals. Gets the distance.
And Russell Morris, Sticks is leaving the ground. What's happening?
Well, I think he's going to get his left ankle re-strapped, Peter, because I don't think it's all that bad. It's a bit re-strapping, more reinforcement on the ankle. At least it's not his calf, so it might be coming back on.
Hamill tries to paddle the ball in front of him. Successful. The difference back to 5 goals. Richmond with the last 2 of them. It was 7 only a few minutes back, so the Tigers finding something. Bradley off the ground. We'll give him that one. Now, is that a free kick? The umpire says no. I'm going to let it go, and he does. Bond, an advantage kick, and Dean does the defensive good work there to get it away from Gale, gets it over the boundary line. It'll be thrown in between wing and right half forward for Richmond. Kicked 1 goal so far today, Peter Dean, but down in defence at the moment.
And certainly Carlton's pressure here today has been fantastic. It's their tackling, I think, that's really maintained their game. Certainly their finishing off has been great, but tackling's important.
McKay missed it. Off the ground, it came from Funky. Diulio, who's been good, loves a run. 1 bounce, probably could have had another. Kicks down in the Kutafides direction. Away from Bullis, he's looking for the hand pass. Back to Whitnell. We'll try to banana kick. Camporelli needs to fly. Callaway, good punch away. Clears the 50-metre line. Powell, caught by Hogg. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Up to Campbell. Hand pass came from Funky. Terrible kick to half forward. Opportunity for Knights from a little toe tag. Oh, got one high from McKay. The advantage paid. Knights. Daffy takes the mark. Will it be 50? He's playing for it. I don't think so.
It's always handy to hand those ones up, of course, because you just never know your luck on a day when you need it.
Well, this will be 3 successive goals to Richmond, and you probably almost have to say they're back in the match.
But Rice actually did put a fair bit of pressure on him then, fairly high, so maybe it's unfortunate that he didn't get that 50.
Nick Daffy, 25 goals for the year, but none today so far.
And really that's a result of Whitnell's poor kick further downfield for Carlton, but
one's not going to make the distance, and off the hands of the pack for a rush behind to the Tigers, and a little bit of breathing space for coach David Parkin, but Jeff Giesh, I think, would be feeling a little bit better now as they trail by less than 5 goals.
Yes, they're into the game, that's for sure. Silvani's kick in is missed there by Diulio. Gale goes in, Diulio applies the tackle, and the kick just falling a little short, marked by Andrew McKay. Back to Silvani, in turn Rice, back to Silvani, able to get his kick away. It was a bit of a grubber, back into the middle of the ground, beautifully handled by Whitnell, magnificently handled by Ratton, bouncing ball, very awkward. Well done, Kutafides, tried to set it up for Hamill. Richmond defence standing tall. Michael Gale's kick, a bit of an up and under, will go close to the line and bounce very awkwardly. Bullis tries to tap it to his own advantage. Hickmott's got him, knocks the ball for Callaway. Diulio applies the pressure. Ronnie Diulio in towards the centre, and the mark is taken by Hamill. It kicks in the direction of Pearce. He's up against 3. The ball where are the other Carlton forwards? Away goes now Tawney. Tawney from the back line. It is Bullis. Bullis from the defensive 50. Bradley. The ball spills to the back. Hamill and Knights. Knights gets the hand pass away, but he was over. And Hamill and Gale. Brendan Gale letting Aaron Hamill know all about it. But Matthew Knights was over. And the boundary umpire will throw it in. Still Bradley trying to direct traffic. Now the on-field leader for the Blues.
You just get the impression that Carlton are tiring a bit towards the end of the game. The end of the half, this half for sure. Powell, Richmond taking advantage of it.
They are. Rogers, who's kicked a couple of goals. He won't try to bounce it there again. Runs a little wider. Oh, kick just about brought down a seagull. Richardson and Silvani. Prescott, McKay's got him. Miranda, Manton. Richardson's kick. Hamill. And they rush it through another one. Rice to Dean. Dean out wide to Allan. And the Blues can breathe a little bit easier. Allan from left half back. Good long kick up towards centre wing. Big pack of players. Bullis punches it clear to Michael Gale. The skipper says go, and he does. A short pass up the half forward, and Daffy's got it. Daffy off a step. Oh, Richardson got into the back of Silvani, you'd reckon. And Richardson on the ground. Prostrate. I think he's okay. A ball rushed through for a behind in the meantime.
Gee, you got up high there, Richardson, but you think Silvani might have got a free kick for that one. But I hope he hasn't hurt himself because they really need him.
Speaking of injuries, Justin, looks as though he's going to come off with 3 minutes to go to half-time.
He's struggling. I think it might be his shoulder. He looks like he's carrying that arm a bit as he's running off there.
Well, that would have hurt. Peter Dean tries to set something up from half-back.
Well, the Blues lead by 28 points. They led by 7 goals at one stage of the second term. Dean gets the hand pass to Koutoufides, back to Dean. Ball handling pretty good. Nearly grabbed and then took advantage of a bounce. Kicks the ball to within scoring distance for Carlton. Matthew Allan brilliantly gathered. Little bounce. No, it won't. It'll be knocked over by Gasper for a rush behind to Carlton. Hamill came off the ground. Russell Morris.
Yes, Robbo, that heavy knock with Benny Gale. He's just damaged his right AC joint. Very similar to Michael Sexton earlier in the year. So they have a bit of trouble recovering from that one. So they may have to ice it and maybe even strap it up. So obviously Carlton supporters will be watching with a lot of interest with Aaron Hamill.
Well, he's had 9 kicks, 7 marks and 3 hand passes so far. He's been excellent at centre half back. Roderick kicks in. Roderick favours the outer side. Holland in front. Knights roads it well. Prescott. Clear of McKay. Plenty of time. Long kick. Richardson. Yes. Oh, that's a good mark.
Knights has been a key player.
Centering kick from Richardson. Powell on the end of it. Powell thought about going, but why bother when you can go back and kick from 20 metres out? And Richmond right back in this match now if he kicks this.
Strong mark here by Richardson, particularly against Silvani. Takes that very well, springs up, comes down hard.
3 kicks, 3 marks to Richardson. Powell, 16 goals this year. Equal in the club's best first-year player last year. Shouldn't miss that. Oh, gee, I'll have to wait on the goal umpire. It wasn't a good kick off the boot, but he's got a goal. So Powell's first, 6-6 to 10-5, a minute and a half before half-time.
Well, we see that mark of Richardson's again, and out in front, great, strong mark. He gets up here, he plays on, and it's a great kick. A great bit of space, and they're the sorts of marks you like to take running into the forward line.
.23 points the margin in favour of Carlton. Bashed forward by Allan. Hickmott to apply pressure on Funky. Ball spills to Powell, out wide to Michael Gale. The Tigers have kicked 4 goals to 3 so far in this second term. The kick by Broderick, close to the line. Dean takes it over for a boundary throw-in. 1 minute 18 left in the second quarter. Carlton goal kicker leading. Anthony Koutoufides has kicked 4. And for Richmond, the only multiple goal kicker is Rogers. Harrison, left foot kick to the offensive 50-metre area, and well done by Matthew Richardson. He's got the football well within scoring distance.
Well, but with Kernahan, Hamill and Porter off the ground, they're certainly lacking a bit of height down there, aren't they now?
That's for sure, and certainly Richmond taking advantage of that extra space in their forward line. Richardson's getting away.
Well, Richardson must kick this goal. Goalless at this stage of the game. Long kick floats across the face.
And they really needed that one, Richmond.
Matthew Richardson has now kicked 3 behinds for the Tigers.
It's amazing, isn't it? Carlton have been hard at it all day, and within the last 10 minutes, they've suddenly looked very vulnerable, and they look a bit brittle there.
They do. This guy kicked a goal with his first kick. Mill Hatter marking the kick out from Manton. Half minute to the break. Hatter's kick to to centre wing. Bullis in front. Hogg tries to get through, didn't take the footy. Whitnell does. Can the Blues get one before half-time? Pearce nearly. Was he held? Fans looking for a free kick. Hume and Harrison. And Kellaway out of bounds. It was deliberate, but you couldn't penalise him for that.
It'd be pretty hard to make those look convincing, but he did on that occasion.
So that might be it for the half. Throw in right on 50. Carlton's left half forward flank. Whitnell in front. Hume taken high, free kick. Well, he's got to kick this. Craig Bradley just giving him some advice.
Well, I think he thought because he played on it lost the kick, and he has. The umpire's told him that he has lost the kick. He went back to take it again, and Craig Bradley was trying to convince him to.
Well, he did try to play on, but when he heard the siren, he went back.
Well, that's the thing. You've got to look confident when you do those sorts of things, because if you even let the slightest hint of what your thoughts are on those occasions, well, the umpire will run with it. And of course, the umpire did. The umpire might have had a few doubts, but certainly you can't afford to show those sort of doubts either.
So by 28 at quarter time, the Tigers have come back well. Porter up high, Bond, Bradley's tag, Hogg tackles him. Kick up towards Gale, good mark at half back. Well, half forward. It's been good today, Benny Gale, very mobile. He's done well at the throw-ins and at the bounces. Richardson the target, nearly. Silvani at the last minute. Porter slung. Ratton leading kick getter on the ground still. Over the top, Milhana, nearly the mark, it's out of bounds. I think a little note of apology there to his teammate, whom he may have spoiled. Kicked the goal with his first kick today, Milhana, when he came off the bench. A late replacement for Sexton. Porter and Gale. Oh, Gale easily. And a little gift to Campbell, ineffective as it turned out. And the umpire will bounce it.
Richmond have come out confidently again. They're applying plenty of pressure. You know, they look fairly focused and pretty intense, and I think it will make a big difference to the result of this game, the way Richmond is starting off there.
Calf and or ankle.
Musky muscle.
Steve Kernahan. Thanks, Robbo. Dr. Robertson. Bowden.
Well, it's not his ankle.
Past Manton.
It's a high ankle on his leg if it is.
Well, they started at the bottom, like everybody else.
Achilles tendon, I reckon.
Okay. Well, he's not pregnant anyway.
Well, there's a line there, but I won't use it for it.
Thanks, Harry. Porter and Gale. Quick kick comes out of the pack. McKay, is that the required distance from mark? The umpire says, OK, we'll play that. He gets it across to Dean. Peter Dean, centre half back for the Blues. Oh, gee, where's he kicked that? That's really makes it a foot race. The contest out there. Rice, who was very good in the first quarter on the Hickmott.
Oh, Hickmott's kick is well weighted too. I think he spotted Whitnell just out to the right. Just went a little awkwardly through the air. Whitnell's kick towards full forward, but well marked back there by young Benny Holland. Gets away to Broderick. Broderick swings onto his left side, then kicks it very wide in the McKay direction. Couldn't take the mark. Matthew Knight's just sweating on him. Matthew Knight's around Hannah. Kicks into the half-forward area. Punched away from Powell by Gurulio. And the ball just rolls ever so gently over for a boundary throw.
Well, Richmond are really playing to the boundary, and I think that's their undoing. When they've centred the ball more often, it's really worked better for them, and they need to really concentrate on that this quarter.
Porter and Brendan Gale kicked out of there by Milhana, back towards the centre. Rogers handball, gathered by Daffy, in turn by Campbell. Campbell's kick will be marked. No, not by Dean. Kick forward by Moore, not really all that effectively. Rice across his left shoulder, close to the line. Hannah, Knights, McKay, Hickmott. Chance now for Hickmott, down the line in the direction of Pearce and Kellaway. Kellaway does nicely to Rogers. Rogers, a long kick to half forward. The ball spills to the front. The recovery by Porter, very good. Across to Peter Dean. Dean on the right foot, the little kick. Ratton couldn't take the mark. Some mistakes creeping in. Dean desperate. Chases after the football. It's at centre half forward for the Blues. Still a struggle for possession. Ratton goes in and locks it up for Carlton. Duncan Kellaway underneath there.
Pearce limping off.
And the umpire to bounce. Anstey on the field now. for Carlton.
Two bad kicks then by Dean. Didn't do his side too much good.
I think he might have almost hurt himself too in the follow-up. He realised he'd made that first error, really pushed hard to get to the ball, and I think he might have hurt his head jumping into the pack.
He's got a pretty hard head though, hasn't he?
That's for sure.
So Anstey, as Robbo said, onto the ground to replace Pearce, who limped off. So a few injury worries for the Blues at the moment. It's at their centre-half forward position. Holland, Hume onto his left. Bounce is going to be effective. Let's not forget that it is still raining lightly and a few mistakes creeping in. Anstey first touch. Gaspar looks for a teammate, finds Michael Gale. Gale around the boundary line. Bowden in front. Caught. Manton, that's a great tackle, but not rewarded by the umpire.
Well, we're 4 minutes in. We're 4 minutes into the quarter already, and certainly Richmond are applying the pressure, and they've put up their hands and said, "Look, we're going to make this a contest," and they certainly have. The Blues needed a goal early to take control, and the same with Richmond, but it's equal at this stage.
Pittmont again, across the body. Porter in front. Holland behind. Punches. Whitnell slung. McKay. Now Bradley, who's been really quiet today. What can he do with this? Camporelli, gutsy mark. Taken in front of Ross Funky. He was magnificent in the first quarter, Camporelli. He had 5 kicks. He's now had 8, and that was his 5th mark.
Really putting his body in here, and he knew the Richmond fellow was going to come over the top and make it hard for him, and he certainly used his body well. He loves these long kicks, Camporelli. He loves these long kicks, and he fancies himself out on the 50-metre line, and I think he'll give it a good show.
Good news for Carlton. Hamill back onto the ground. He comes in from 50. It's coming around. He's got it. Great kick. He loves those. Well, that was his first goal, and Carlton's 11th, and that was the one they wanted to start the third quarter.
And here we are, Camporelli using his nous, I suppose. You see him very shortly. He gets the ball, turns his body because he knows Richmond are going to clobber him, and finishes off beautifully.
Pearce's left leg being attended to by the medical staff. We're anxiously watching that, Russell.
Certainly right, Robbo. Brad Pearce, they're having a look at his left knee because I think he jarred it about 5 minutes ago prior to that Camporelli kick. So Richmond under the pressure on the scoreboard, but Carlton under pressure on the bench.
Oh, well done by Whitnell to Camporelli. Camporelli to Koutafidis, kicks it in front of himself, then knocks it clear for Camporelli again. Taken away there by Bullis into the path of Michael Gale. Michael Gale's kick to half forward, punched away from Harrison by Hannah. But in his endeavours to do that, he gave away the free kick, and Harrison swoops on it, kicks it to half forward, punched away. The ball spills now for Bradley. Bradley bombs it back. Unfortunately for the Blues, Whitnell was on his own, couldn't take the mark. Michael Gale, they're going to get a goal here, surely. Hume goes in and misses. Misses everything. Could have set it up. Could have gone anywhere, Darren Hume. And a very dejected looking Darren Hume there. That snapshot bouncing against the behind post for a boundary throw-in.
Yes, I think he appreciated the fact that he could have made a name for himself there. Could have tidied up the game for the Blues.
Right forward pocket for Carlton. Ratton got his foot to it. Matthew Hogg and Wayne Campbell. It's rushed through for a behind to Carlton.
Don't forget though, Robbo, that it is raining, so we've got to make allowances.
Kick in has been marked by Broderick.
Broderick, pinpoint accuracy with his left foot, for which he's famous. Knights won't be too happy about that effort, and McKay, who's got him. Umpire lets it go. It's not Dean. Holding the man decision.
It's against Dean. He was too
Reckless, I suppose.
Gregarious.
Reckless tackle. Undisciplined, but he's a desperate player, and that's probably what he's trying
Gale
to achieve.
To Rogers.
Michael Gale off the ground.
And that's all tied up. Good tackle. Manton.
Miranda on to replace Michael Gale. Peter.
Well, once again, Richmond are, playing wide, and at the end of the day, you've just got to work twice as hard to get goals if you're going the long way around, and I think that's going to pay for Carlton at the end of the day. The Richmond have to work harder.
11-6 to 6-7. Left half forward for Richmond. Or Diulio. Well, he made out that he got one high. I don't know that it was all that bad.
Yes, it's a beautiful bit of theatre there from running to Diulio, I think. If you can do it quickly enough, it always convinces the umpires.
Rice in front, punch away by Bowden. Ratton, kick number 14, beautifully delivered too. On the end of it is Hickmott. The Blues going the long way home here. Still the rain falls, getting a little bit heavier. Hume, good shepherd by Hamill. Missed the goal before, won't kick one, but that kick, good mark home.
That boy knows how to get the ball, Justin, Darren Hume. And just needs to grow in confidence, maybe.
I think so. I think he's probably struggling with the pace of, you know, the senior style footing. I think, you know, his timing in regards to his delivery. He feels under pressure. He's just got to steady down a bit and use the ball like he did on that occasion.
Matty Hogg for his second. One of the veterans on the Carlton side now. Don't you mind me saying that? He's not going to have a shot. Goes in short, and he's found the big fella, Porter.
Yeah, Hoggy's not a long kick. He does love a shot for goal, so that's probably quite a team sacrifice for him to chip it off that way. But he's chipped it to Porter, and Porter's got an ungainly kicking style, so you can never be too sure.
45 metres out. Well, the style wasn't there, but the accuracy was. He's got the goal. You taught him to kick, Harry, did you? Absolutely protege, I like to refer to him as, because he's delivered the ball through the goals very well. And nice chip kick from Matthew Hogg. Jason Tawney on for Richmond.
Very handy for Ruckman to kick a couple of goals, put the opposition under pressure on that occasion.
Well, a real stamp of authority by Porter, getting his second goal. Chance for Campbell, he's got it, and he penalised. Well done, Porter.
He's looking good, Ports. He's looking confident. It always helps for Ruckman to kick a couple of goals because, you know, at the end of the day, they put those next to the other stats and you normally shape up pretty well. So he's looking pretty good.
Ratton to half forward. Hickmott just brushes the tackle, waits the kick. Well done, Allan. Down to McKay. Little kick off the ground. Chopped off by Gaspar. Tackled by Hamill. Kick forward by Matthew Allan. It'll be marked for Richmond by Callaway. Not Pay. May have been touched off the boot. Gee whiz. That wasn't very well disguised, Joel Bowden, but you got away with it. Aaron the umpire will throw it in.
Aaron Hamill's tackle on that occasion really kicked the ball into the Blues. Richmond seemed to have it, you know, and going out of their back line. So it was great for Carlton to see him tackle so well.
In the right forward pocket for the Blues, trying to come away with it there was Ross Funky, and Bond and Bradley see it over for a boundary throw-in. Very, very handy lead now to Carlton. 78 plays 43. The ground is a little greasy from the slight rain that has fallen since about mid-second term. And of course the players do get tired as the game wears on, and that advantage is invaluable for the Blues.
It's always interesting, you know, the way the umpires pick those free kicks out of a ruck contest always astounds me.
We've been saying that for years, Justin.
I'm glad you said that. It has just confounded everyone. Gaspar, desperate, across the full-back line. 2 kicks off the ground.
The race, Gaspar, Whitnell, Rogers. Rogers goes for the boundary line. Now we found Manton instead, but it will be thrown in on centre wing. 12-6 to 6-7. Third quarter here at Optus Oval. Halfway through the third quarter, and don't forget league teams, of course, previewing the first week of the finals on Thursday. Allan up high and over the back. A stalemate develops. Umpire Dennis Rich will warm it up. A couple of awkward bounces earlier.
Ratton continues to accumulate, 16 and 6.
He's been excellent, hasn't he? Camporelli 10. Michael Gale, Richmond's leading kick getter, he has 11 this afternoon. Moore with Hannah. Bond, only for his third kick, but he's kept Bradley to 5. Silvani overruns it, then sees the ball isn't going to cross the boundary line. And the umpire says there was a trip, and there will be a free kick. Very close to the line.
Put in the back.
He's done well, the umpire, to spot that, because I would never have spotted that, but very touch and go.
Dean's kick, Bowden from behind, punches. A little too wide for McKay to gather, and to throw in 65 metres out from the Richmond goal. Number 11 there, Bowden. Terrific youngster, great talents. Pretty good stock. Harrison slung. Well comes out to Dean.
Hitchcock's played well.
He has. So for Julio, but the ball's still pretty greasy. Now he was grabbed there by Moore. Did he have it? Miranda from Rice. Miranda did well to get a kick in. And what a kick it was. Gale. Oh! Persevere for Richardson. The bomb of the day. One behind.
Well, there you go, don't you? You know, when you're struggling, when your confidence is down, everything can go against you. You know, they could probably kick themselves on that occasion.
What about Ronnie Julio? Does his mind go quicker than his body?
It almost looks like that on occasion. He does love a bounce, though. Give him a couple of yards, he loves a bounce.
Well, Hannah to come off, he's bleeding quite profusely from, looks like a whack in the nose, whack in the mouth.
That's for sure. I think his profile's not going to improve from that one, I think.
He's been a great player for the Blues, Milhana, and he's been replaced by Jacob Anstey. The umpire will wait for Anstey to get down into the defensive 50-metre area. Russell Morris down on the boundary line.
Yeah, look, a big surprise here. I just noticed that half the Richmond side in these conditions are still wearing moulded soles, and with the rain falling, the ground was very soft regardless of the rain. I cannot believe that, and a lot of them are still slipping over.
Dean Rice marks the kick in and then gets it outside 50. Free kick. It's going to Richmond. It's taken by Holland. Ben Holland for the Tigers. The play just held up. The umpire, Dennis Rich, indicating to Lance Whitball where the mark is.
Yeah, it was a lovely nudge there, wasn't it?
78 plays 44.
Always love those hand signals from the players with the ball, you know, directing traffic.
Holland kicks it long. It'll land close to the square. Punched away by Dean. Hogg, tough as old boots. Can't get the hand pass away, though. Still there for the Tigers. Campbell, snapshot across the face of goal. Getting back as Manton. But the ball bundled over for a throw-in about 20 metres around from the Richmond goal. They trail by 36 points to the Tigers.
Daffy off and Broderick back on. Gale and Allan. Camporelli intended for Manton. McKay was there. And so were about 20 others. So the umpire will ball it up. We're past the halfway stage of the third quarter. 8 minutes remaining in the term. Milhana receiving attention from the traders for that blunt nose. Or cut mouth, or both. Gale looking for front posse. Allan beats him to it. McKay. Kick by Manton. Off the step to half back. Ball jar free in that tackle. Camporelli. Julio.
Loves a run.
With speed. Kicks to half forward. Looks like Hume in trouble too. Koudafides kicked 3 in the first quarter. Good tackle, Bullis. Still Koudafides with a chance. Again, Bullis comes at him. Still Bullis, well played. But he's lost it. Hamill, Bradley. Can he get kick number 6? The hand pass. A bit to Koudafides. Well, half a step to half forward. Whitnell couldn't take the mark, but there's a free kick and might be going Richmond's way. Bowden will be the recipient. Now this is what happened to young Hugh.
Yeah, I think he's got his own ruckman's knee in the back of the head somewhere.
So play continues on the outer side. Another free kick.
Still plenty of pressure applied by the Richmond players. They're certain to make sure that they're not out of the game, and at the end of the day you might find that Carlton's injuries are going to handicap them in terms of finishing off this game. They've lost a number of players through lacerations and all sorts of injuries, so unless they can do something significant to improve that.
Milhana back on for Hume.
Been knocked around a bit, the Carlton fellas.
They have.
Well, they're definitely too short with Pearce with a knee and Kernahan with a calf or an ankle. Matthew Knight's just the right arm over his shoulder there, fairly blatant by Andrew McKay. Now he plays on. Kicks in towards the centre of the ground. Gee, it really advantages Prescott. And bounces nicely. Kick a goal, won't he? Prescott, long. Rice goes back, gets his right hand to it anyway. It was offline. Through for another behind to Richmond, kicked by Ashley Prescott. And that injured bench of Carlton's Russell.
A bit of a bloodbath down here, Robbo. Look, Darren Hume's got one across his left eye. Mill Hannah had a bloodied nose. Obviously, Stephen Kernahan, I think, won't take any further part for Carlton with a left ankle or calf, not sure. And also Brad Pearce with a suspect knee. So, not good times for Carlton, although they're winning the game.
Hickmott's kick intercepted by Gale. Gale up towards full forward. Now another free kick. And I didn't see that one.
Well, it was definitely a free kick, but, you know, they'll pay one of those at about 1,000, the umpires. He's touched Ben Harrison's arm, and he's paid a free kick for it. You know, in terms of the rules, it's certainly an infringement, but, you know, there's 1,000 times a game that they don't call those, and, you know, you just wonder if the umpire's not feeling sorry.
Allan in the hands of two trainers on centre wing too. He's staying on the field. Ben Harrison, kick 4 1/4 against Hawthorn. He's got one here. (12-6 to 7-9), so the difference is back to 27 points. The Tigers still not out of it.
And here we go. Allan trying to grab the ball. Big Benny Gale making something of it. Ben Harrison attempting to mark, and he's received a free kick.
Well, Carlton lead this game by 27 points. They led by 22 at half-time. Looks like a pumped-up Brendan Gale up against Matthew Allan. The bounce favours the Carlton player. The ball down now for Derulio. Attempted hack out of there by Bradley. Gathered by Rogers. Rogers kick. Lands close to centre-half forward. Punched away by Manton. Silvani puts his body in again. Miranda. Rice. Daffy. Goal. Tigers.
It's the one they needed.
It was 27. It's now 21 points, the margin. 1 point better off than they were at half-time.
And, of course, Richmond desperately needing more goals here, and you just feel like they've lifted the intensity a bit. The pressure they're applying has worked well. Miranda getting the ball out, giving them an opportunity to score, and not passing it up.
Carlton kicked 7 in the first quarter. They've only added 5 since. They should be a bit happier there in the Richmond box. Jeff Giesh looks as though he's lost the dollar and found threepence. 22 points the margin. Again, Richmond out of the centre. Hogg, was he taken high? Not according to the umpire. Camporelli. Oh, Rogers! On the burst, 3-third. Bang! Here come Richmond!
That's the one.
Wow! What a game! The Blues have stopped. As if they've been hit across the head with a spade.
Well, Brendan Gale here has just
done well.
Some momentum.
That's right. And that's a fantastic tackle. Fantastic tackle there by Ross Funk.
Richmond player down at midfield.
It was the player who applied the tackle.
That's exactly right. And that's the difference in today's football. And, of course, Rogers finishing off well.
Well, it's the player who applied the tackle on Matthew Hogg. A big punch from the centre bounce by Brendan Gale. Gave the opportunity to Matthew Hogg to gather the ball, which he did do, but he tried to shrug the tackle. He's got a bit of a sore head, Matthew Hogg. He's come off the ground. And this player, it looks like Funky, I'd say. Yeah. Funky, who really locked Matthew Hogg up there.
He did, and a fair clash of heads too, and they're nasty. They're nasty clashes when you get somewhere like a chin hit the top of somebody's head. There's not much flesh to absorb the shock.
Huge back onto the ground.
They normally sting.
And again, it was Campbell which backed up the tackle from Funky on Hogg. Campbell on Camporelli. The ball spilled for Rogers, and Rogers went down the ground and got his third goal. And importantly for the Tigers, their 9th. So it was 22 points at half-time. It is now only 15 points. And the Tigers are certainly fought back. They trailed at one stage in the second term by 7 goals. And this running around the boundary line, maybe he can come back on.
what we're seeing here is very similar to the last quarter where Carlton have started well. They've obviously, felt fairly confident, but their concentration's lapsed, and you just can't afford to do that in today's football. One of the handy things for Carlton now is, I suppose, with the stretcher out on the field, it will upset Richmond's intensity and concentration.
Well, what happened, Justin? They put the stretcher to the interchange bench, which is on this side of the ground, and now they've decided that they're going to walk all the way back to what was once known as the Hawthorn stand, which is right across on the other side of the ground. Russell.
Yes, Funky's chin, Peter, it's all been split open, so I think his chin has hit the back of Matthew Hogg's head. So Hogg's got a split head. He's got blood coming down the back of his head. Funky then holding a towel around the bottom of his chin under his mouth. So I think he's opened right up. Very similar to that Christian Barsley incident when Ablett crashed into him down at Kardinia Park. Opened up all around underneath his chin. So he seems to be okay, but I think there must have been a lot of blood. It must be a big gash. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought the stretcher on, of course. So let's hope he's okay.
When you have another look at this replay.
Yeah, clash of heads. Oh, they really, they're horrendous those when they take place. If you're on the receiving end, and it doesn't matter whether you're the tackler or the fellow with the ball, they sting incredibly, and you get an ache right through the bones.
Well, there's some strapping being used here at the Optus Oval at the moment. Get your name on it, and you'll get some free play. 12-6 to 9-9. Brendan Gale still. Bad miss there by Broderick. Still congestion. Who can break away? Brendan Gale over his left shoulder. Richmond mark. Oh, another heavy clash. Let's watch with anxiety the recovery of those two players. The ball at centre forward. Campbell. Snapshot for goal boy. Wayne Campbell goes through from behind.
Diulio is out cold.
A very, very heavy clash at centre half forward. And Ronnie Diulio and Ben Harrison, bang!
The same thing again, clash of heads, and there's probably the worst sort of collision in football is a clash of heads like that. As I said before, there's nothing to absorb the shock other than the grey matter inside, and on some occasions there's not too much of that to absorb.
Well, the training staff really have to mop up Matthew Hogg here. We saw him just a moment ago we're having another look at the clash between these two players. But we saw Matthew Hogg being strapped up around his head like young Darren Hume. There's Harrison, and golly, really put your name on the plaster. Can't you get it?
That's exactly right.
Today,
hey?
I tell you what, if the Blues make the 8, they won't have a side next week, will they?
It is incredible. Fortunately, it's only Stephen Kernahan that looks as though he may not be able to come back. We saw Pearce running around the boundary line. Matthew Hogg, we saw being strapped up by the training staff. He will probably take the place now of Diulio.
You wonder if Ron Diulio hasn't hurt something else as well as his head. He's struggling off the ground. The trainers have the arms around him. He's walking, but really struggling. It speaks for itself, this one, doesn't it? You can even see the grimace on the players' faces as they come off that.
Harrison came off better.
Sometimes I'm glad not to be playing footy, that's for sure. Occasions like that.
4.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and boy, the busiest spots have been on the bench. Harrison a chance with Ratton, the ball flipped out the front of the pack. Manton and Knights still Manton over the boundary line. No collisions. What's happening?
Well, it's amazing scenes down here, Peter. Look, Ronnie Diulio, they're checking for concussion. He's got a bloodied nose. So obviously there's the walking wounded from Carlton. Don't forget Aaron Hamill's on the ground with a suspected AC joint. So any more for Carlton will be under a lot of pressure.
Gale, Camporelli, Hickok.
I think Ron Diulio might have copped it right across the side of his face in that last collision. His eye didn't look too good either in that last shot.
Rogers, Holland. I tell you what, Richmond are going to win this match, I reckon. Broderick, Powell, directly in front.
Blues look a little rattled, which is fair enough. They've got players on the bench injured and players on the ground with strapping over around the top of their heads, but don't quite know who they're picking up, do they?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's all it takes. We see there Broderick kicking the Powell, and they look all right, Richmond, at the moment.
The 8 points the difference if he kicks it. He's done it. The goal. The carries it has.
Got there.
8 points is the difference. 12-6 to 10-10, 3.5 minutes left, and the way the Tigers are rolling, they could be in front before the quarter's out.
Parker, what the siren to sound, I tell you.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like it might be a war of attrition here. You know, whoever is left standing at the end of the game will be the ones winning, and I think Richmond are looking good at the moment.
Beautiful little kick by Broderick to set it up for Powell, and an excellent kick from about 50 metres by Robert Powell. 12-6 plays 10-10, so the margin is 8 points. Richmond continued to get the forward knock from the centre bouncers. Bradley's kick lands at half forward, gathered by Ratton, and kicked forward by Bradley into the pocket over, and a throw-in will take place.
And I think at this stage of the game, Carlton would like to see the ball hit the boundary more often. It just gives them a chance to settle and find some composure before the end of the quarter, so they certainly need to just steady down at this stage.
Russell, there wouldn't be enough words in your vocab to describe the interchange benches, would there?
No, it's unbelievable. Like, Brad Pearce has got a wonky left knee, and he's desperately trying to regain some sort of fitness, or at least trying to get some rhythm going in his knee. Must be very stiff. He's had ice on it, so if they desperately need someone, he's probably the man to come on.
Stephen Kernahan anxiously watching on. 8 points the margin. The on-field skipper, Bradley, towards full forward. Bullis kicks it away, so Richmond standing tall. The kick will probably favour Matthew Knights. Little kick down the ground, gathered by Holland. If they get another goal here, listen to the shout. Silvani and Richardson, gathered by Miranda. He's held, and he's going to get the free kick. Don't quite know how he got rid of the ball. He's going to play on, shoot for goal, and it'll be marked by Hogg.
Is it Hogg? It is Hogg. It's hard to tell which bloke's got which bandage on at this stage, isn't it?
Well, you've got a 50-50 chance it'll be either him or Darren Hughes. Matthew Hogg from the right back pocket kicks it outside 50. Porter throws his left foot at it. Chance here for the Blues. And a free kick against Bond. He's not happy. No, and I don't blame him. I didn't see much in that.
Well, he's played close all day, but I think you've got to give the benefit of the doubt when you play that close. And Bradley hasn't performed up to normal expectations, I suppose. And Bond's been fairly good in that regard. He's kept right on, Bradley.
Bradley's kick will land and bounce. Anstey falls over. Critical. Callaway couldn't get rid of it. Still Kudafiti's fighting hard for the Blues. And applause from both groups of supporters, you would think, because both teams are putting on a fantastic performance. Not a big scoring game, 12 goals to 10. Carlton lead by 8 points, and that in the square box at the top there is a look at the bench for the Blues. Knights knocks it on for the favour of Rogers. Rogers' kick. Manton couldn't take the mark. Harrison tries to get rid of it. Still play on. Hume out into the open. Jacob Anstey on the end of it. Michael Gale. Anstey couldn't control the footy.
Yes, and you'll notice that the Richmond players are the ones with the pink headgear, and the Carlton players are the ones with the white headgear at the moment.
It's a boundary throw in on centre wing. Last minute and a half of the third quarter. There's much action. Off the field is on it. Gale, he's been fantastic. Benny Gale's kicked to half forward. Missed by Dean. Hannah. Silvani. Blues with their backs to the wall at the moment.
Hit the boundary. Hit the boundary.
And he might be a bit early for that.
Who said that?
That's an old one, That's an old one, that one. Hit the boundary, and he has nowhere to go.
Williamson, Butch Gale, and the late kid with one of the grand finals of the 60s, I think, Joe.
66.
That's it.
St Kilda's year. Will it be again? Mightn't be Carlton's year. Well, it won't be if they can't get past today. Underneath Gale is the football, but Broderick looking at the umpire, he says it'll be a ball up, gentlemen, not a free kick. So 8 points is the margin. It was 28 at quarter time, 22 at half time.
Well, I think
another blood rule.
Another blood rule.
Well, who's coming off?
What's he got this time? It's a few noses. It'll need fixing this week.
Pearce has got to come back on now.
Doesn't give him any alternatives.
Taco himself might have to put the boots on.
If you're Richmond, you'd be very happy at this stage seeing Brad Pearce hobble onto the ground in that condition. I'm not sure about his knee. I think he's had a bad knee for the last 12 months, so it might be that knee playing up again. It's going to make it pretty hard.
Well, they'll be after more to change players for the finals, won't they? Anstey got it over to Camporelli. Camporelli's quick kick to half forward. The Blues really need a goal. Whitnall, can he give it to them? Oh, well played. Still Whitnell from 50 metres. Bangs it home. That's a great kick. Just what the doctor ordered, literally.
And I think importantly for that young fella too, John.
Absolutely. He's been quiet today and he really needed that one.
Got a lot of ability though.
He's got some fantastic ability. He really has got speed, strength, and he reads the ball particularly well. Great hands there by Porter. And of course here you'll see Whitnell just struggling to get the ball, taps it back, thinking he'll hit it to the Carlton player, but he actually gets it again himself. And his turn of pace allows him to straighten up and get his boot to the ball.
Well, I think importantly, just in the career of that young man, that kick could turn the corner for him.
That's right. Great timing.
14 points now and seconds left in the third term. Broderick shrugs the tackle down towards half forward. Chance for Richmond. It's got to bounce in their favour. Manton on Harrison. In goes Ratton and locks it up. Temporarily though, it's still there for the Tigers. Camporelli back in the area of Silvani. In turn to Dean. And maybe the siren will sound. It does as Hickmott marks. And just when the Tigers were making the challenge that could have just taken them to a victory here at Optus Oval, the Blues answered with a goal through Lance Whitnell. Ron Doolio, a heavy clash with Ben Harrison on the bench at this stage. It is a terrible sight for the Blues. Kernahan trying to stretch out whatever his injury is. It doesn't look too good. Matthew Holt with bandages all over his head. It's a sorry sight for the Blues supporters.
It is, absolutely. What about Benny Harrison's bandaging there? That's a beautiful job, that one, isn't it? Straighten his jaw, that one.
Well, I think we're in for a titanic last quarter. Mill Hanna, of course, was also on the bench for the blood draw during that quarter. 14 points is the margin. Richmond coming home like a train, but Carlton still have to look out of it at the MCG. The Blues have their own problems here. Ratton, who's been absolutely brilliant. That's kick number 18, up towards full forward. Koutafidis couldn't take it. Hamill's there, loses out to Gasper. Knights. Oh, great tackle. Hamill, fantastic. Gasper.
Got him again.
Yes, terrific tackle. He gets away. Bowden. Rogers. Knights. Prescott. Prescott at left centre wing. Richmond get the first goal. Anything could happen. Silvani on Richardson. Manton turns on a Threepney bit. Hogg. Oh, again. Dear, oh dear.
It's probably the other side too, is it? That's 50 metres.
I tell you what, he's a tough little nut, but by golly, have they tried him out here.
Absolutely.
Well, about 14 trainers have come out to him. Obviously,
fortunately, no blood, Peter.
No. Well, I think he already had the bandage over it, so I think he's all right.
He's seeing stars. But that was pretty solid. Campbell really did cop him. It's not about 50 metres either. He's down at half forward, still too far out to score. And, well, if you look closely at this, you'll see...
Yeah. That was to the front, as opposed to like the previous one, which was to the rear.
So Matty Hogg got a goal in the first quarter. That's not a bad sort of a ruse. Allan lost sight of it. Bowden couldn't pick it up. Flipped out to Gasper. Gasper in the square, clears for the Tigers.
Does reasonably well, but reading it nicely was Camporelli. With pace, gets around onto his right foot, kicks for goal, hooks the kick. Does he register a score? He does. A behind, and it may be important in the final analysis. 1 goal, 1 to Scott Camporelli. Kicked a long goal in the third quarter. Matthew Knights now. Coming off the ground is Wayne Campbell. Well, being replaced by Moore. Knocked back to half forward. Ratton gathers. Porter for his third goal. Can't get the distance. Andrew McKay chipping in his bullets. Matthew Knights still trying to lead hard. Gasper's hand pass not quite good enough. Hickmott locked up. Ball spills for Knights. Still there. Callaway pushed off the ball by Ratton. Still Callaway. And a terrific contest. There are 30,000 people packed in here, and they are loving every minute of this.
Absolutely, and they're not letting up on the intensity at all, these fellas. We're well and truly in the last quarter, and they're very keen to maintain the strength and intensity.
Great credit to Richmond. They've got really nothing to fight for except the pride of the Tiger, and they are really having a good go at this game. The free kick is to Gasper. Richmond trail by 15 points early in the last term.
Gasper, kick number 7. for a high tackle. Dean in front. Couldn't take the mark. Now Broderick. Long looping hand pass to Knights. Richmond certainly looked the fitter. Can they finish the better? Knights. Another bounce to left half forward. The skipper's kick is long. He'll be looking for Richardson at the back of Silvani in the front. Benny Gale. Well, they had the two-pronged attack there, didn't they?
Yes, he's marked strongly today, Benny. He's really given them some options. He's been good in the ruck, and when he's got down that forward line, he's really taken the pressure off Richardson by actually taking marks himself. So that's a beautiful mark there. Position himself running backwards to take it.
Point blank range, 25 metres out when he takes the kick. 9 points would be the difference if he can kick it. Campbell comes back on. That's a goal.
And that's what you need.
Gale gets his second, and Richmond 11-10, trailing Carlton 13-7.
Great play by Broderick there, spotting Matthew Knights.
Knights spots this well. Puts the forward line under pressure often when you have 2 or 3 bounces, but often if you go that extra one, it can create space, and he takes the ball under a lot of pressure.
Just be careful there, Wayne Campbell, someone who was going to give a free kick away. It was quite obvious. Campbell and Hogg were at each other. Hogg went at him, and the retaliator has been caught. Campbell's kick has been well marked by Manton. 9 points is the margin. Manton's kick marked by Porter. Look out, you're in strife here. Scott Cavarelli gets around onto his right and then kicks into the centre. Good kick from 40 metres. And Andrew McKay nearly dropped the chest mark. Ratton out very, very wide. Good effort there by Dean on Knights. Knights able to recover though. Hand pass Broderick. In turn Michael Gale. Out wide Robert Powell. One-hander. Beautifully done. 9 points the margin in favour of the Blues. And Powell has it deep on the wing.
Powell goes for distance. Huge pack of players in there. Bond tries to barge his way through the pack. All tied up. Done a terrific job today on Bradley. Bond's only had 3 kicks himself, but he restricted Bradley, who's only had 9. He didn't get his first kick battles until about the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. So bounce left half forward for Richmond. Gale and Porter. Hume overruns it. One of the well, it's on the full. Well, not much going right for Carlton at the moment.
And Harris Carlton's free kick
going to Carlton.
You just get the impression, though, that Richmond are able to maintain this intensity. They may well, you know, carry the game off.
Well,
Carlton was struggling a bit in that regard.
McKay, Knights. Out comes the back of the pack. Bradley got a little nudge in the back.
Matthew Knights has been terrific.
Knights from Bowden. Harrison punches against his old side today. Be very keen to take the points. It's out of bounds between wing and left half forward for Richmond. Carlton leading at the moment, 85-76. But they kicked 7 of their goals in the first quarter, and Richmond have slowly pegged them back. Manton, still one of their fit players. Hogg across Campbell. No love lost between that pair. Rogers punches to the front. Hickmott. Hogg cops another one. Up to half forward. Pearce, who's on one leg. Prescott, a little hand pass, and Kellaway gets it back to midfield. Campbell, Hogg's got him. That's a great tackle, Matty Hogg. Fantastic stuff, but it comes to Bond.
Bond's kick is all right, and it's out there for Rogers. Still 9 points, but Richmond going forward. Knocked away by Rice from Miranda, gathered by Powell. Silvani and Richardson punched away by Silvani for a boundary throw-in about 4 metres around from the behind post, deep in Richmond's full forward area.
There's no letting up on this intensity, and it makes you glad sometimes that you're not playing league football.
Matthew Richardson still goalless. Porter and Holland hacked out of there by Dean, gathered by Hogg. Ball spills. Broderick off the ground. Mark taken by Rice from behind Miranda.
Gee, Hogg's been fantastic. He's got every reason, really, to lay down and die, I suppose, with so many knocks to the head, but he's really having a dip.
Matthew Knight's terrific again. To Ben Harrison. To the goal square. Mark taken by Hannah. Only centimetres inside the line. Out wide he goes to Hume. It's important that this young boy keeps possession of the football. Doesn't do anything silly. Little kick, he's given it up. No, he hasn't. Great clash again by Michael Gale. And his opponent on that occasion might have been Hickmott. Whitnell does well to hold it at his feet. Still across the Blues half-forward line, and a real crunch of plays. It was Adrian Hickmott, and he looks okay. And for Carlton Stakes, it's important that he stands up because they have 3 players in trouble on the bench.
I think it ended up being more his knee than his head. It looked like it might have been Hickmott's head in the first place, but I think it was more a twist of the knee.
Camporelli off the ground. Knock it forward, Jacob Anstey. Pearce tried to get it, but it was Campbell. It comes back. Still a chance for Hogg. Still a chance for Campbell. It's a great contest, this game of football. Ratton to Porter. Porter from pretty well a standing start. Kicks to the full forward area. Trying to hack it out of there was Bullis. Camporelli has missed. 1 goal, 2. That would have done Maradona proud if that had gone through.
Yes, certainly.
Look at Jeff Giesh and Ross Lyon and all the Richmond boys. The goal umpire just coming out to check that it is all clear, and it will be a behind to the Blues. Scott Camporelli nearly manufactured a miracle goal there, and the margin is 10 points in favour of the Blues.
Capacity House certainly getting their money's worth today. Knights goes to the outer side again after he kicks to himself.
He's done that on a number of occasions today, Knights.
Gale in front, Koutafidis. Want to get more out of him now. Crowd looking for holding the ball. Umpire says no, boys, keep going. Broderick, good little gift to Knights. McKay nearly, Ratton across him. Porter, Camporelli, too severe the tap on. Prescott off the ground up towards the hard midfield. Bowden, oh, great tackle. Whitnell holding the footy. No, says the umpire.
Advantage with the Blues.
Anstey started on the bench. Make a hero for yourself, son. Kick long. He does up to half forward. Oh, Kellaway, great mark. Kellaway to Michael Gale. Richmond at right half back. Gale back into the side today, playing well. His kick to half forward, and Richardson still goalless. Takes the mark, but too far out. You'd reckon from there. Centering kick from Richo. Oh, Bowden, big leap. Couldn't complete it. And Rice comes in to tie it up. Umpire Dennis Rich will ball it up.
Well, Benny Harrison made some good ground there, and I think that centred kick was looking for Benny Harrison, but he just wasn't able to get there at time.
It was a big leap by Joel Bowden. He really got it too.
20 players around the ball, maybe more. Bowden, Bowden was Campbell up high. Now it's Dean's turn. Good shepherd by Hogg.
He's been solid today, Peter Dean.
He has, the veteran, the old warhorse. More bandages than Farah. Gale again. Anstey's got him. Gale looks for a free kick. There's none there according to the umpire. It will be a balled up.
Do you know, during the week there was quite a few decisions made by the tribunal. There was a lot of doubt about whether we were playing basketball or glorified basketball. Do you reckon there's any blokes out there, Justin, who reckon they're playing basketball?
I think there'd be a few blokes looking for endorsements from the bandage companies.
I'd say so. Russell down on the boundary line.
Mate, the atmosphere down here is absolutely electric. I'm in front of the Carlton Social Club, Robbo, and it's this wild stuff, so it's a sensational match as you've been calling.
Pearce has taken the mark. He's limping. What can he come up with here?
He likes these. He's about the right distance for Pearcey, and if his leg stands up all right, he's a good chance to kick this one. But he's done well. He's done well, particularly with that gammy leg, to get out there in front to take the chest mark.
Goatee Beard's back in at Carlton. He's growing one, and I think I saw Milhana was one as well. Let's see the kick. Oh, gee, that's close, but not close enough. One behind. Goal would have been...
Justin, do you ever feel in a situation like this that a behind is any better, maybe, to keep it down
well,
to the ground?
Can well be at this stage of the game. You know, it just means that the team have to refocus and they have to really concentrate, particularly in the wet weather as well. I mean, wet weather football, you've got to play for percentages, I suppose, and that's what points can help with.
Back towards the centre of the ground. Campbell running onto it. It is 11 points in favour of the Blues. Contest again between Richardson and Silvani. Ball spills to the back to Dean. Campbell run down by McKay. Still Andrew McKay. And the umpire is letting things run. A boundary throw-in will take place. McKay, not always a big possession gatherer, but a wonderful contributor for the Blues over many years now. 9.5 minutes left. Richmond need to kick 2 goals. Ball to McKay. Brilliant handling there by Hume. Throws it onto his boot quickly. 2 half forward. Gathered there is by Bullis. Gets it away to Tawney. Tawney streams away. He's a fit player. Giesh is using his bench towards half forward. It spills to Powell. Powell does well to get past Dean. Hooks the kick towards centre half forward. Marking contest. Bowden! No! Yes, it has been paid. It certainly was. A great grip of the football by Joel Bowden.
You just get the feeling that if he gets this goal, it'll turn the game. And that's a very solid mark, very strong mark against 2 Carlton players. He really has made great position.
Well, he made a magnificent leap a few minutes ago at centre half forward, not able to hang on to it. You can see the rain coming down now quite steadily. If Joel Bowden kicks this goal, there's only a kick in it. And the Blues just fighting for their survival. As far as the finals are concerned, of course, if they win, they have to wait for the match between Port Adelaide and St Kilda. Bowden kicks the goal. It's a 5-point margin.
Two goals to Bowden. They trailed by 28 points at quarter time, the Tigers, but they're certainly finishing the better.
And of course, Richmond centering the ball, well, actually going after the flank on this occasion, but it comes back into the centre. Taking a very, very strong mark.
Richmond haven't beaten Carlton here since June the 4th, 1977. Bartlett, Roach, Hart, etc. were in the side that day. Edwards kicked 4 goals and McKenna got 3 for Carlton. The Blues are chance. Gasper's in the road. Broderick the target and marks. Broderick left centre wing. A goal here would put them in front.
They're looking good, the Tigers.
Holland, 55 metres out, centering kick. Rogers on his own!
Well, you just get the impression that Carlton are tiring. In the last stages of this game, they just can't maintain the intensity, and that's fairly obvious when you look at the number of injured players.
Rogers has kicked 3.
And that's a great kick. Spotted him well, in the clear. And no problems to mark that one.
You wouldn't think problems with distance. He'll be kicking from about 45 metres. Slightly off target.
Oh, well, that was the one that Richmond needed.
A collective sigh around the ground.
Anxious faces in the crowd too.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people realise that Richmond need every bit of luck going their way at this stage.
Bill Hanna started on the bench, kicked a goal with his first kick today, replacing Sexton. Hanna to centre wing, Rice to target. He'll get him eventually. Hickmott to half forward, which is pretty open at the moment. Michael Gale slams it back into the arms of Koutoufides. Needs to bounce. Will it bounce through? It does, but only for one behind. 4 goals to Anthony Koutoufides. 3 of those majors in the first quarter. He kicked 1 goal in the second, but goal was after half-time. Campbell.
He should have kicked that. He was in the clear. The goal was unattended. Michael Gale shares it with Rogers. Rogers, of course, maybe Richmond fans could have thought that he should have kicked his goal. Ben Holland from in front of Koutoufides. Maybe a bit of discipline there. He should have punched from behind. Into Rogers. Still 5 points to margin. Rogers to a disputable position at half forward. Richardson, Silvani and Ben Harrison. Ben Harrison's caught with the ball. Still there from the Tigers. Ben Moore into the pocket. Darren Hume and Silvani. Silvani gets past his top of the ball. He's caught with the footy. Oh, dear me. Richmond fans will go absolutely ape over that decision. Matthew Richardson is irate.
What about the other one?
Well, gee.
Oh, dear.
If ever Silvani had the umpires on his side, I think it was this occasion.
How many chances do you get to get rid of the ball? Ben Moore on Darren Hume as a free kick. Oh,
boos and boos and boos from the Tiger fans. But the footy with Darren Hume. He's in the right back pocket. He kicks it long, temporarily out of the danger zone. The ball spills to McKay. He overruns it. In goes Gaspar. Finds some space. Handball over the top to Tawney. Tawney towards full forward. Marking contest back here. Good disciplined punch by Hannah. Oh, a crunch on Rice. And the umpire still swallows his whistle, or he hasn't regurgitated it just yet, because he swallowed it when Silvani was not penalised in front of the square a minute ago. Oh, Dean Rice looks up.
Oh, and another head clash.
No blood that time, luckily.
We should be taking stats on the head clashes, I think.
Been a few. Harrison tries to go off the ground. Campbell does, and I think he's put it through for a behind. So that makes the difference. 4 points. Second behind of the day to Wayne Campbell. 13-10 to 12-12. Steve Silvani trying to take a few deep breaths to concentrate. Just so Funky may be coming back. He's warming up on the bench. Silvani to the outer side. Dean the target. Couldn't complete it. Holland. Silvani punches. Broderick. A little give. Knights. Harrison. Goes at goal. And Richmond have hit the front for the first time. The Tigers by 2 points.
Well, some fantastic work here.
Broderick and Knights. Broderick 20 possession, Knights 25. Gee, they've been great midfielders. So the Richmond fans, they've been here all day, but by gee, they've jumped to their toes and their feet here. Ratton takes it away, kicks it to within scoring distance for the Blues. It spills to the front. Pearce, Koutafidis, but look at the little tough Tiger. Duncan Callaway's got the footy, and he's not going to let it go.
At these stages of a game, it's often far easier for a team like Richmond. You're on a roll, there's some intensity there, your confidence is up. Whereas for Carlton, they've been ahead all day, and now they know that the time's limited.
Well, they kicked 7 goals to 2 in the first quarter. So since then, Richmond have kicked 11 to Carlton's 6. Kicked away, only as far as Whitnell. Top stuff Bullis. Again, to a winnable position between Bond and Bradley. And Bond prepared to take it over. 4 minutes left. The Blues need an accurate kick. They trail by 2 behinds. They must kick a goal if they're to win this game. The advantage is with the Tiger.
Well, the other alternative is a draw if they can get 2 behind. Got to throw it wide open, wouldn't it? Koutafidis been quiet since the first term. Whitnell, Gaspar, McKay. McKay's got it. Koutafidis. Go Kouta, they're saying here. Kouta, 50 and closing. Will it bounce through? No, touch through the line by Prescott. It's 1 point the difference.
You may well be right about that draw, Peter. That draw is very much a possibility.
Well, it could be now, Harry. The lunge there by Ashley Prescott. Came off the bench today. Campbell to bring it in. Under 4 minutes remaining in this thriller. Good old-fashioned inter-club footy here. Carlton and Richmond, long-time rivals of the VFL and now in the AFL. And the crowd today getting its money's worth. Callaway again from Ratton's kick. Bradley caught out of position. No mark taken. Bradley looks for holding the ball. Tawney's in there. And it's got to be a ball up. Ratton gets himself off the turf. So too does Bond. Done a fantastic job on Bradley. Only got 4 kicks himself, but he's restricted Bradley to 9. Bradley didn't get one in the first quarter. Carlton need a goal. Whitnell on Gaspar. Tawney. Been good.
Yep.
Gale at half-back. And the Richmond crowd rise to their feet again. Gale's got a panic to move in. Kicks up towards right half forward. Richardson nearly couldn't take it. Soccer work from Hogg. Over the top of Richardson. Silvani comes in right across his body. Kicks to half forward.
Contest here, but there's none because Tawney has had 4, maybe 5 possessions that have been important to the Tigers in this last quarter across half-back. A fit player. No mark across the half-back line to Rice. Gathered by Allan. He's caught. He's very, very well caught by Robert Powell, and the ball spills over for a throw-in. Richmond lead by a point. Just under 3 minutes left.
And they look good, the Richmond players. They're playing in front at every opportunity, and I think that will be the difference. That will be the difference in these last few minutes. The team that can play in front, make the most of the opportunities.
Some very tired players. Bradley kicks it into the middle of the ground. Rogers, not really advantaged there. Hand pass to Brendan Gale. Off his left foot, kicks it out wide. The Blues have got the advantage here. Dean runs down to support Manton. Confusion. Dean runs away from half-back. Peter Dean kicks in the area of Hickmott. He's taken the mark. He's too far out to score. He kicks. He'll put Richmond in danger zone now. Confusion there by Callaway. Knocked to the front, Jacob Anstey. He's dragged off the footy. The umpire won't give any free kicks. Michael Gale out. Kutafides looking for the free kick. It's not forthcoming. It will be a boundary throw-in.
They've got to get a goal here, Robbo.
Most definitely has to kick a goal.
David Parkin. Well, will it be his last game as coach of the Blues if they lose today? Gaspar. That'll be a good kick for Richmond. It's out of bounds. Bond not really too interested in chasing after that. He knew it was to the advantage of the side. 2 minutes remaining. Giesh, Tony Jewell. And Jeff Giesh, you've reckoned itself the job here today for next year. If Richmond can pinch this. Benny Gale been fantastic. Gains 35 metres. Good punch. Gets it to centre wing. Another throw-in.
He's done well, Benny, and he's doing well now. He's just looking to hit the ball towards the boundary, and that can dent the confidence of a team like Carlton at the desperate stages of a game like this.
Allan goes against him. Gale gets front position. And this is suiting Richmond as the clock continues to tick down. 1 minute 40 left in this game. Still plenty of time, of course, for Carlton to get a goal, but sides are able to close it up, and Richmond are doing that at the moment. Well, Richmond, Roderick, what a run! A goal here would stitch it right up. And the mark is there. Ross Funky at half forward. 40 metres out directly in front. What a run. Roderick, 11 and 10 today.
Well, that's happened on a number of occasions today where running into the forward line, Richmond have just popped it in the centre-half forward there to a player just sort of hanging back a bit, able to take the ball without any contest at all. It's the third or fourth time.
Well, Carlton fans next to us have tossed in the towel. They're leaving. They reckon he must be a good kick. No, he's missed it. So it's not over yet, folks.
Certainly
it's not over yet.
Certainly not over going Fat Lady Sings on a day like today.
Well, 2 points, and it's deep in the Richmond full forward area with Stephen Silvani to kick in. You would think if the Blues are to snatch it, it's going to be difficult because they just have to have clean possession down the ground, you would think, to get a goal. Silvani goes straight down the middle. Long kick, lands in the centre. All important possession here. Gathered by Holland, tackled by Camporelli. Umpire will bounce.
Well, they've done well in the last stages of this game, Richmond. They've just decided to hold the ball at every contest, and it's worked well. It's taken the edge out of the Carlton players.
Stephen Kernahan, an anxious onlooker. Benny Holland, Camporelli to Rice. Important possession here. Out in front there of Pearce, and he's taken a good mark. Must play on quickly. Down to 30 seconds. Play on, says the umpire. Shepherd, Jacob Anstey. Pearce, who's going to mark this? Whitnell, no. Disputed decision here at half forward. Hacked out of there by Camporelli. Gathered by Hamill. Oh, terrific stuff by Matthew Hogg. Umpire won't pay a free kick. Richmond will win the game, folks. There's only seconds left. And Carlton couldn't possibly get a goal out of this. The umpire will bounce it, and you would reckon that the siren will sound as soon as players touch the ball. Down it goes, up goes the ruckman, and well done, Tigers!
Good night, Blues! Giesh does it again. The Tigers, 3 out of the last 4. Another thriller. And they've come home to get the bacon again.